وقتی دل تنگم نمیشه برم من آروم میشم با عکس حرم قلبم.
We think that someone is religious just because they pray or they come to the masjid or they attend majalis or they go on ziyarah every few months. You might do all of these things and you might not be religious at all. The question that I want to examine is, what does it mean to be religious? What does it really mean to be religious? And the reason why is because many Muslims, even practicing Muslims, don't have a proper understanding of what it means to be religious. I was with some brothers a few years ago, and they were telling me about a friend of theirs. And I'll never forget the way that they described him. They were telling me that, Sheikh, this person is religious, but he's a bit harsh. He's a bit aggressive. He's religious, but he's mean. So I said to them, so he's not religious. We need to stop with all, he's religious, but, and then we mention something that completely nullifies the essence of religiosity. Now, and I was thinking to myself that why did these brothers label this person as religious? Because he prayed and he went to the masjid. That in their minds was enough for this person to earn the title of being what? Being religious. There was another occasion where some brothers were telling me that this young, he's religious but he lies. He's religious but he lies. So he's not religious. He's religious but he beats his wife. So he's not religious. We need to stop with the, but he does this and that. You either pray and you have good akhlaq, or you're just not religious. And that's why the word religious has negative connotations today. Because it typically refers to someone who's strict, who upholds the ritualistic aspect of Islam, but lacks the akhlaq. We call that person religious, stern, inflexible. What does it mean to be religious? Imam Sadiq salawatullahi alayhi, he noticed, even among his own companions, that many of them were naive. We think that someone is religious just because they pray or they come to the masjid or they attend majalis or they go on ziyarah every few months. You might do all of these things and you might not be religious at all. Imam al-Sadiq, what does he say? He says, لا تنظر إلى طول ركوع الرجل وسجوده. Don't look at how long someone bows and prostrates. Meaning, don't be deceived by just the rituals. لا تنظر إلى طول ركوع الرجل وسجوده فإن ذلك شيء اعتاد. Maybe this is a habit. ولو تركه استوحش لذلك. Maybe you're just observing a habit that a person has developed. That if a person doesn't pray, they feel something is missing. It's a habit. Just like you might come to the majlis and you sit in one spot of the masjid, it's a habit for you. Maybe praying has just become a habit. So then they asked the Imam that, what should we look for? What is a better indicator of faith? The Imam says, وَلَكِنْ أُنظُرُ إِلَى صِدْقِ الْحَدِيثِ وَأَدَاءِ الْأَمَانَةِ. Look at the truthfulness of their speech and how trustworthy they are. That is the standard that Ahlul Bayt have set for religiosity. Millions of Muslims around the world, they pray. They pray on time, they fast, they go to Hajj, they go for ziyarah, they recite the Quran. Millions upon millions. But how many Muslims around the world can say, I've never lied? How many of them can say that I'm 100% trustworthy? That if you share a secret with me, I take it to the grave? How many? Very few. You know, I remember I was visiting a city, and this was a predominantly Muslim city. And I don't want to mention the city, and don't even ask me about it after the majlis. So I was in this city, and I wanted to get car insurance. And I was just trying to get an idea of what the rates are. And the rates were astronomical. Much higher than the national average. So I asked the insurance agent that, my God, what's going on here? It's like 10 times more than what I would pay in another city. And the majority population in that city was Muslim. So I said, what's the reason? Why are you guys discriminating against Muslims? The agent himself was Muslim. He says, no, Sheikh, it's not that. We have one of the highest fraudulent claims in the country. False insurance claims in a Muslim city. So you see, many Muslims pray, they fast, but how many of them meet this akhlaqi standard? Truthfulness and ada'ul amana. You know, usually when we speak about ada'ul amana, to return a trust, we automatically think about money. You give me $1,000 and I return the $1,000 to you. Is that the only meaning of ada'ul amana? Ada'ul amana also means that you fulfill any trust that is given to you. Like, for example, if you're a board member, you have a position of power. Are you fulfilling that duty? Are you abusing your authority? Are you qualified to be a board member? You know, many of the centers that I visit, you know, they're always talking about, you know, we need a resident alim. I said, before you get a resident alim, how many of you have had any training in running a non-profit organization? Before you take a position, you have to ask yourself, am I qualified for this position? Ada'ul amana is not just returning money. It's about fulfilling a trust that has been given to you, especially when it comes to positions of power. Are you fulfilling the functions and the duties of this role that you have been given? When you sit on the minbar, are you qualified to sit on the minbar? This is also ada'ul amana. It's much more broad than just returning money that has been entrusted to you. لا تنظر إلى صدق لا تنظر إلى طول ركوع الرجل والسجود. Don't be deceived by the rituals. Now, salah is important, but there are many people who prayed and they're the furthest away from Allah. You think Umar ibn Sa'ad and these people used to drink? No, they used to pray. They were mosque goers. The enemies of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam were praying. You know, some of us, we don't pray when we're on a plane because, you know, I'm embarrassed. I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want to cause an emergency landing, right? Some of us, we don't pray if we're on an airplane because it's inconvenient. Umar ibn Sa'ad prayed during a battle. The army of Yazid, many of them prayed during a battle. To most of us, that's a pretty religious person to think about salah in a time of war. But again, that's not what it means to have iman. That's not what it means to be a person of taqwa. When we speak about akhlaq, when we speak about spirituality, you know, many times I'm invited to communities and they say, Sheikh, can you give a lecture about irfan, right? Some people, they want to hear something crazy. They want to hear something exotic. Right? That's why a lot of people are interested in irfan. They see it as this exotic science that, you know, maybe I'll start to see angels, I'll start to see interesting dreams, I'll start to understand jinn more. And I'll basically have access to the unseen world. That's what people think spirituality is all about. That I want to go visit this alim because I hear he's irfani. If he looks at me, he'll tell me that, you know, go ahead, she's good for you, right? As if they can see into your soul. Do you know what spirituality is all about? It boils down, there was a man who came to Imam Zainul Abidin, salawatullahi alayhi. And he says to the Imam, أخبرني عن جميع شرائع الدين. He says to the Imam, can you give me a summary of the teachings of Islam? Now, if someone were to ask you, summarize Islam in one sentence, most of us would probably say that it's to believe in one God, the prophets, the day of judgment, divine justice, and Imam. Most of us would probably summarize it like this. It's to pray, fast, this and that. What does the Imam say? The man is asking the Imam to explain Islam in a nutshell. The Imam alayhi salam, what does he say? He says, قَوْلُ الْحَقِّ, to speak the truth. وَالْوَفَاءُ بِالْعَهْدِ, to fulfill your promises. وَالْحُكْمُ بِالْعَدْلِ, and to be fair. To be fair. That is a summary of the teachings of Islam. And that's what we have to be known for. Non-Muslims shouldn't just know that Muslims are those people who, shout 5 times a day from their minarets. Oh, Muslims, they're the ones with the beards and the dishtashes, or they're the ones that pray. We need to be more known for our truthfulness than our ritual prayers. We need to be more known as, those Muslims are the ones who, if they promise you something, they'll never break their promise. The problem is we're only known by the outer practices of Islam, the things that are visible, the tangible. Imam Sadiq says that you should be such that if I send you to a village of 100,000, you are the most honest among them. You are the most pious among them. You are the most truthful. You are the most just. That's what it means to be a person of religiosity and faith.
بیتابی یعنی گریه بیتابی بغض تو صدا